I'm the host with the most, baby. Bullseye View.
Yo, what's up? It's Keith Bulluck, the host with the most, and welcome to Bullseye View. We are, of course, recording here from Bullseye View Studios down on Division Street at Riley Green's Duck Blind Bar. So I want to take some time to, acknowledge the passing of Lawrence Poetry and Moulton. Lawrence Moulton, Syracuse basketball legend, Big East all-time leading scorer, a mentor, a father, a husband, someone that was very, very big in the Syracuse community. I wanted to take the time for that. Another Syracuse Orangeman football alum, former Baltimore Raven, Arthur Jones, passed away at 39. And then, man, which is the most crazy one, is Rudi Johnson. We played against Rudi Johnson, a great competitor, great running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then this is when you come more into the mental health aspect that, a lot of us NFL players deal with. If you go online, you can read that, there were some 911 calls made about they saw someone on a balcony and they just heard a crash into the pool. So I'm taking it that he took his life by jumping into the pool. And, I heard that he was dealing with some mental health issues before. I've been fortunate that I haven't necessarily dealt with those type of situations. Mm-hmm. But I definitely know some former teammates, players that have, and players that have taken their life, unfortunately. Can you speak to it, bro?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have, like with Frank, Frank Wycheck. But with Rudi, I mean, he's 45. That's only a year older than I am, and just to be dealing with the mental health, I mean, our game is hard. It's tough, and then hopefully his family's going to do the necessary things as far as the CTE testing and all that stuff. I mean, it's not going to, it won't bring them back, but for them just to get a little bit of money from that, I mean, it'll be a good thing, for them.
Yeah, I mean, look, running back is one of those positions where you're constantly getting banged. I was a linebacker, like at 6'3", I use my hands a lot, so I use my helmet only when I needed to. Of course, you're going to get struck in the head, but then, a lot of times, life after football, man, when the crowd isn't cheering, you're not coming out. People deal with that differently. I can only speak for myself. I definitely was up on it year 6 because I signed a new deal year 4. And look, I was fortunate. Signed a $38 million deal. You know what I'm saying? Now it's now you had a milli. Chill out, bro. Relax. Let's not do that. But that being said, my point is that, okay, that's something that could set you up for life if you do it the right way, right? Yeah. I feel as if I did it the right way. I had a plan. That I made for myself, and then, I'm still going through it right now. But a lot of people don't get an opportunity to make that type of money, and even if you do, how many people are you taking care of? How are you going to live that lifestyle? You still got the same bills when, you're not playing anymore. How was it for you, someone that you were a first-round draft pick, then your second contract was the biggest ever in NFL history? Did you have people coming out of the woodworks? Did you take care of people on the first contract? How did that go?
No, of course, I help my mom, and which she didn't really need help, but just it's my mom, right. And then really, I bought when I got my second contract, I bought my mom, brothers cars and stuff like that.
What was the gift what was that first gift you bought yourself? Because you already had nice things. You already had toys on your first deal. I'll never forget when you was like, yo, I bought a boat. You come into the locker room talking about you bought a boat, and you like, yo, come outside, check my boat out. He's like, you spent $1 million on it. I go outside and see the boat. There's only 2 people. It was a 2-seater.
No, it wasn't no 2-seater.
Cigarette boat. How many people could fit in it? It ain't no
6.
yacht.
It was 6. No, it wasn't.
Right. So if I'm thinking I'm spending $1 million on a boat, yo, we partying on that thing. Ain't no party on the cigarette boat.
Yeah.
What are some other toys that you had that you look back and be like, is there anything that you look back and be like, yeah, I shouldn't have did that? I kind of, with me, I'm not gonna. I've had some crazy weekends when I've like burned 50, 60,000. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't really like a gift guy.
I don't think it was anything that I regret. Only maybe like doing some deals, like getting into a restaurant, like, you know, I had
investments.
Three different restaurants. Like I don't even want to say the name of this damn thing.
What type of investor are you? Because I feel like you.
Well, I'm not like, I wasn't like you, and then that's why you more inspired me to be hands on, to know everything, do everything, like, you know, everything that happens.
Hell yeah, that's my money.
Deal. And then I wasn't thinking like that, because I was more influenced by the owner of the entire, you know, franchise.
Right.
And, you know, he was just like, the way he made it seem, it was easy. And he, you know, he made a ton of money. He had boats, you know, 200 footers and things like that. So, but it was not like that.
When and how did you learn financial literacy? Because we don't grow up with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? My whole thing was like, shit, I grew up broke. I ain't never gonna be broke again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I used to go. One of my good friends from home, Jason Mallon, he was working as an intern at Goldman Sachs down there on Water Street in New York. So I put like my first meal with some guys at Goldman Sachs, because it was definitely secure. Sachs, yeah. And then every summer I went and I kind of like fronted like I was like learning what they was teaching me, but at least I was keeping them, you know, up on it. So what about yourself?
I would say it was like probably later on, to be honest. And it was just like maybe leaving the NFL. I was like, man, these checks ain't coming in. Like, you know, I was like, hey, we got to get this down, because that, you know, you got that nest egg. I think it just come through. So it's like more about figuring out, like, you know, you'll hear every deal in the world, you know, like, and my thing is like, why do you need my money? Right. You know what I mean? Like, why do you need my money? Like, you know, got everybody else.
Because they broke.
Yeah. So that's why I was just like, no, just stop investing, and then start investing in things like where it's your time, it's your, you know, it's our name, you know, our name brand, like our
know how to leverage your name, know how to leverage, you know, if I'm gonna bring some money to the table, I don't need to bring no hundreds of thousands, you know what I'm saying? If I want points in what you're doing, I'm probably going to want to bring some money, because I want to be an owner and everything. But definitely with you, I didn't really get my financial literacy fully like until I would say when I retired. But I always had checks.
Was it when you got your BA? I mean,
I mean my MBA.
I mean, your MBA.
My MBA helped, but to be honest, man, like in like 2005, 2006, you know, you get in these checks and you're 25, 26 years old. It's like, all right, what do I do with this? So then I wanted to do some alternative investments, and I had these guys from Long Island. I was holding mortgages, so I would, you know, I would, you know, put money towards a building, and I would be the bank. You know what I'm saying? I was holding mortgages, and we were getting 14% back. But here's the trick: I was only getting 5 and they was getting 9. So that's how they was doing me, because I wasn't smart enough to know to look between the lines. And then my business manager, my financial advisor now, since that day, like, she found the loophole, because they was robbing, like, they had like 7 athletes. And the only thing I never gave power of attorney. And I remember that from the Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't never give power of attorney. So they weren't really able to really get my bread. But it was crazy to me that people that I was supposed to be trusting are really lining me up to get bread, to steal your money, because they broke.
Oh yeah.
They broke, and we targets.
Yeah, no, I've had a financial advisor that I sued and won against.
What's the most bread that you almost lost?
Almost lost? Probably about 20.
20 million?
Yeah.
Did you lose it?
No.
Oh,
no.
20 million? How you almost lose $20 million, bro?
Just trusting, thinking.
Was it you being aggressive, or was it you trusting? Because I know you could be aggressive with your investments at times, but was this one on you, or was it on the
it was
adult?
them. It was like, they were scammers, you know, kind of like, but they show you everything, and then you start really getting into it, and then it's just like, no, like, I'm out. And, you know, like, oh, why, this and this, and that's what's like, hey, now, that's why you like, why you need my money,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is so viable, so great. You can go borrow some cash. You can get hard money borrow, you know, like 10, 12%. why you need my money? So that's why I had to scale back. You know, I mean, that would have been a damn chunk.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, and that's how you get got, because you want to do other things. You're getting, you know what? At one point, you're getting $14,000 a week, $30,000 a week, $100,000 a week, $200,000 a week, and you're only 25, 26 years old.
And getting up a check to be
you know what I'm saying. So that's
every
what I'm
week
saying.
is $1.1 million, $1.2 million.
You're not gonna go broke partying.
Yeah.
I partied. You're not gonna go You're gonna go broke when you gain these different assets. You want to invest. You get wild and crazy, and you don't have any financial literacy. So I would say, man, take some time in the off season to, you know, learn about your money, and however you do it, but you should take some time to learn about your money. If your money's in the bank, go to the bank, hang out at the bank, you know what I'm saying, and go over your accounts and things like that, because both of us, we've been out of football for a long time. I've been retired 15 years. You still got 14, 12.
14 years.
Yeah, you still got to provide for your family after that. You know, I just seen my man Sean Alexander's wife is pregnant with her 14th child. You know what I mean? I was like, God damn. But what that tells me is that man was smart with his money, because there ain't no way you're gonna have such a big family and not be financially secure, because the lifestyle, like you said, the lifestyle changes and the checks ain't coming, but your overhead is still the same. What were some of the things that you did to get your overhead down once you realized that, okay, these $100,000 checks ain't coming, but these bills is about $80,000 a month?
Like not needing, like, I mean, like my cars are paid for, but not needing like a number of cars, you know? I got down to like, hey, like, start having like a bunch of new cars, because I remember I had like at one point I had $1 million worth of new cars, like Ferraris, like
you
Phantoms.
Just buying them. How does that go? How does one acquire $1 million worth of cars?
I mean, it just sees, if I saw something I liked it.
Yo,
I
see,
want it.
yeah, you're impulsive.
Then I went to, but I lived in Florida too, so I had cars here and I had cars there, so they're not all the same, but they're like, I don't know, like I always like nice things. Like I grew up having like nice cars, so just always.
You grew up having nice cars?
Yeah, I mean, like I had, in high school I had a Oldsmobile Bravada. You know,
like my brother. My brother is a car guy. I wasn't really a car guy. Like, yo, me and Albert, one season we went to Vegas for our bye week, and I don't know. Like he said, he likes cars. He likes nice things. He's also an impulsive shopper.
It's not impulsive.
It's impulsive when you buy the Ferrari off of the floor in the MGM. I would say that's impulsive.
I already had it in my head. I wanted a Ferrari.
So you wanted to buy that one?
Well, I just saw it. I was like, yeah.
My man, hey, that's a true story. My man bought the Ferrari off the floor of the hotel casino. That was baller. That was baller. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah. I mean, I've done some baller things. Nothing in that fashion.
No, you're not a car guy.
No, I like to take trips. I like to travel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Bougie bully coming in full effect. So how did you finally learn about your money? You know, I know you're financial literate. You know, you're good now. But how did you finally, like, to the point? Because even me, like, I'm good. Like, I'm in the space, like you're saying, like, why you need my bread? All right, well, let me see the deal. And then I got checks and balances. So how?
Well, it was just, you know, because I always, like, want to be that investor, right? You want to be that guy that keeps building money. Like, I never wanted to sit still. Like, I always wanted to keep climbing. So one of my things was just, like, how did, like, I mean, I look at the most wealthiest people and families, right? Say the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, like all those. Let's say like the Rockefellers, for instance. Like back in the 1800s, like they pulled their money together and they started like a whole life insurance policy. They got a whole life insurance policy, so their money's always growing. So whenever they borrow money from themselves, which they would, instead of going to a bank, they borrow it from themselves. That money's still in there and that money's still growing. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like,
makes sense. I understand it.
Like you're borrowing your money. Like if you want to you go buy a car. Like if you're borrowing it from your policy, you know how you pay. I mean, either you write a check or are you paying like interest on it or whatever, right? Yeah. Well, that interest should be to yourself. So you can make that payment to yourself, and it's still it costs you 5%, but your money is still making 7 to 12%. So you're actually paying that money back, and you're gaining instead of giving that interest to somebody else. So I wanted to figure out, like, are you telling me all these years, these dudes ain't never had an L? Like, so I'm just like, how did they do that? So that's when I start really looking into that. They say, like, Trump, like, how you filed bankruptcy like 7 times and you still a billionaire?
I be wanting to know that. Well, shoot, like,
it's the same. That's the same thing he's doing. That's the same exact thing. It's like he's done it sometimes dirty ways. Like, he's literally, he's literally borrowed $10 million from a bank. Take that $10 million, put it in his policy, which is in a trust, and then he files bankruptcy. Well, the bank's coming after him. He has no money
because he put it in the trust.
But that $10 million is sitting in that life insurance. I mean, that policy.
And he can pull on that when he wants to.
That's how he continues, because he runs that trust like another person. You can't sue that trust. So, I mean, that's just like, that's the way how they do it.
But you know what? Now that's funny, because I'm not going to hold you. This is true. When I retired, I told my financial person, I want to learn how to get money like white people. So that's what I've been doing. Like, because I say that as a joke, but it's for real, because you don't learn that. We're not learning that in our neighborhood.
Right.
So once you get a certain amount of capital, there are certain things that you can do, but nobody's coming through and necessarily telling you. You got to learn it on your own. So, that's why I asked you that, how long it took you to kind of get financially savvy and learn some tricks of the trade, so you could wet your beak a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if I would have learned that like back when I was 20 years old.
Bro, if I would have known, put it like this, man. If I would have known real estate and money and all that stuff, like I know now at 25, before Nashville became what it is now, oh man, I would own a lot. You know what I mean? I would own a lot of property, a lot more property than my house here in Nashville.
I remember us talking about, like, you're like a spot that you would go rest at, like downtown. You were like, man, I remember you saying this.
Building.
You were like, I could have bought this whole daggone building.
Could have bought that whole building. Didn't even know nothing about it. Well, the thing was, I could have bought that whole building, but what I didn't understand about real estate is the simplest part, right? If it's $300,000, you only got to put 10-20% down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my mind wasn't churning like that.
60,000,
Yeah, I'm like thinking X's and O's. I'm thinking 300,000. I ain't got 300,000. I'm putting 300,000 into that. Or something's $1 million. I'm not putting $1 million into that. That's the financial literacy part that I definitely was missing. But I wasn't gonna go broke, because I wasn't gonna spend on unnecessary things.
Well, so that's the same thing I did with the boat. So I never had to put all that money up to have it. Cars, a couple of them I did. Mostly I stopped doing, and then I started financing, and then I just started, like, old cars is what you want to put your money into.
Gotcha.
Because they're gonna go up in value.
Right. Some news just came out this past weekend that Kyren Lacy, the wide receiver from LSU, if you're not up on it, Kyren Lacy from LSU was accused of causing an accident that killed a 79-year-old Marine veteran. And he was supposed to go on trial in March. This accident, I believe, happened in December, and he ended up killing himself, taking his own life 2 weeks before the trial. He was a projected first-round draft pick. He had his whole future ahead of him, first-round draft pick in the NFL. And come to find out this weekend, there's video footage that he was 72 feet behind the actual...
72 yards.
72 yards behind the actual wreck. And he had nothing to do with it. And the cop actually coerced a witness to, report that Kyren actually, did the accident, and the kid is not here today. You think about his family, his loved ones, and just like the evil in the world, man. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like what we were talking about earlier is just like I know that the family is going to sue now that all this come out, and you see that this officer is literally like he rewrote the story, rewrote what happened, and then the witness refused to sign it. So he put that in the submission, but this guy really just ended this guy's life, ended this kid's life, had a very bright future. He's supposed to be a projected first rounder. But with this, my thing is like the family of Kyren Lacy is going to sue the city and, sue that to get money. I think will be better, honestly, I would love for somebody to change the legislation is to where you actually start suing instead of the city paying for it, that it actually comes out of the pension for the police. Then I feel like if you doing that and you're causing dumb stuff, then you're officers, just like us on the field. Like
it's like a fine.
We hold each other accountable,
right?
And so you're gonna kind of force that guy to be, to be like run the right way.
It's like checks and balances.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because look, I ain't trying to get into good cop, bad cop, but we know there are good cops and there are bad cops, just like there are good people and there are bad people. In this case, that was that's just terrible. It's just tragic. Another news story that happened this weekend: Mark Sanchez was in Indianapolis this week to do a game for Fox on Sunday. The story goes that Mark was playing parking lot security guard for an Uber Eats driver who had his car parked in the alley as he made a delivery. And then I guess Mark was a little intoxicated, started messing with the Uber Eats driver. The Uber Eats driver maced him. Pepper sprayed him. Mark ain't a small dude, got a little physical. Turns out that Mark body slams the Uber Eats driver. The Uber Eats driver had physical, he bit through his jaw, his cheek, to where I guess his tongue, it's all, documented. But then he stabbed Mark Sanchez a few times in the chest, and Mark Sanchez happened to go to the hospital. I think initially he was in critical condition. Now he's in stable condition, but his ass got arrested in the hospital. Thoughts on that, Albert?
Shit, I don't like. Why are you messing with a 69-year-old guy that's just trying to do his job? Like,
it was on the sauce, baby.
But I mean, that still don't make me feel like I'm gonna go pick on some older guy, and I don't know. That shit's just wild.
Look, I would say like this, man.
Maybe he got that mental health.
Yeah, hey, maybe. But I'll tell you like this. That when I retired, I was doing announcing the Titans preseason games, and after one game, I went out with like Chris Johnson and Nate Washington, like the cast that was still on the team. Mm-hmm. And I was right over here, and I asked they were going to after hours, and I just wanted to go home. So I guess it's before Uber. I go to give the cab driver, I'm like, yo, I'll give you $100 to take me to Brentwood. So for those listening, it's about like a 20-minute cab ride from downtown Nashville to my house. So I was giving him $100 for a 20-minute cab ride. And then, I stopped to talk to somebody real quick, and he was like, no, I'm not taking you. I got another ride. And I was like, all right, then, man, you can give me my fucking money. And I reached in, I snatched my money from him, and I walked down the street to catch up with the fellas because now I got to go to after hours because the cab driver. Anyway, long story short, less than 5 minutes later, the cab driver comes walking down the street. His shirt is ripped like he goddamn Hulk Hogan, like he ripped out of his shirt. And then I get arrested. The cop, he says that I assaulted him, and the cop, without hesitation, arrests me. Like, I'm
believe what he said.
Yeah, but he says that I robbed him. But I'm like, man, I got a Rolex on and I got $500 cash in my pocket. Right. I obviously didn't rob this guy. Had to be some rookie Barney Fife cop, obviously, and took me in, and I was arrested. So my point is, I lost like some gigs and all that stuff because I was doing commentating at that time. But a new law, I was found innocent after I went to court, and a new targeting law was created here in Nashville because of that. So when it comes to the Mark Sanchez situation, I guess we got to let it unfold a little bit. But shit, if you got arrested already, it unfolded, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, wait, I don't know, like, how you still, like, I get it. The guy was like, I don't know, the guy's 59 or 69 years old. Like, what the hell are you doing?
He was just being drunk. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, leave the guy alone.
Titans got off the schneid, man, and it wasn't in beautiful fashion. Might as well just go into the game with the Titans. But at the end of the day, man, I've been on a team that's been over. So it doesn't matter how you get the win. Yeah. You get the win. So the Titans are 1-4. The Baltimore Ravens are 1-4. But these two teams are so far apart, it's not even close. What would you? And the reason I say that is because the Baltimore Ravens obviously competed for the AFC Championship last year, and lost to Kansas City in a tight game. So they're always competing right there with Lamar. They have the pieces to put together. They got Derrick Henry. The defense is suspect this year. That's just kind of letting them down. But I feel like they're a team that can get it together. Whereas the Tennessee Titans, they got a rookie quarterback. They got, a second-year head coach, second-year defensive coordinator. They only have 4 wins in the last 2 years, but winning cures everything, so hopefully they can get it going. What does it take to make a championship caliber team, and how far off are the Titans?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say I think it starts with the head coach. Some of the things we were talking about earlier, the other episodes of like missing calls and things like that. I think it's also a mindset. Like, well, we know they have leaders. Like Big Jeff is out there, definitely leading his team. He's always playing hard. He's always doing like a lot of different stuff. But it was just like the one thing that bothered me, like during that game, that I'm watching the kicker, and he's supposed to be getting ready for a game time winning field goal, and he's got his hat on sideways, no helmet, and warming up that way. I'm just like, that's not even the mentality. Like,
I hear what you're saying.
You gotta be like locked in the game, and
he has some trouble with kicks. So yeah, mentality. Mentality is for me. For us was big, man.
Right.
It was really about a mentality. I remember that 2002 year where we started 1-4, and then we went all the way 1-5, and then we went all the way to the AFC Championship game. Luckily for us, we got our win early in the season, the first game of the season. So we already had a taste of what it was like to win. That's why I say that team is closer to the 1-4 Baltimore Ravens team that has the nucleus of players, that have, more leaders than Big Jeff. We had Samari Rolle. We had Lance Schulters. We had Steve McNair. We had Eddie George, Derek Mason, Frank Wycheck, Benji Olsen on the line of scrimmage, Brad Hopkins. So I feel for Titans fans out there that, expect a miraculous turnaround. It starts at the top. It starts at the top really with who they bring in and put on the roster. And then, like you said, how the head coach and his coaching staff set that team up for victory.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Like, they have a nice little, like on paper, it seems like Calvin Ridley. He started catching balls his last game. But then you look at, like, the other guys. It's like, why I ain't on the jugs machine? Everybody's, like, missing easy balls. I mean, what we should – I wouldn't say like easy, but catchable balls that you should be able to catch because you're getting paid to do that.
Yeah, you're a professional wide receiver. Definitely the quarterback can dial in his accuracy a little bit, but then we saw that fourth quarter of that last game that everyone was dialed in. And if the Tennessee Titans offensively play like that, because they got down 21-6 in the first quarter, I fell asleep and woke up in the third. You know what I'm saying? But the defense held it down. Gave the offense the opportunity to be opportunistic and pull that victory out. And that's what you need to get going. All right, man, enough about sports and money. Went down a few weeks ago and got into some music, being that we're in the Music City. So this week of What's Good in the Hood, we go down to Bluesman Vintage Guitars and check out how they make guitars. What's up this week for What's Good in the Hood? I am in Spring Hill, Tennessee at Bluesman Vintage with John Scott. What made you start building guitars?
Well, what got me started building guitars is when I was 18 years old. I had the huge dream of being the rock star guitar player. In that time, I went out looking for the ultimate guitar and searched all the stores around my area, couldn't find what I was looking for. And being a smart aleck kid, I told my buddy in a music store, I said, man, I swear to God, I think I can just build guitars better myself. And this guy sticks his head from around the corner and goes, come here for a minute. And I think he's gonna throw me out because I'm being a smart ass. And he says, if you're serious about that, I'll help you. And this gentleman helped me build my first guitar. And I toured around with it for many, many years and then ended up making my way to Nashville. And when I got to Nashville, I discovered that I wasn't quite the guitar player that I thought I was.
Right.
Because in this town, every waiter bringing you a glass of tea can outplay you. So I did find that I was good at working on them. And so over several years, it just kind of evolved into me like working on other people's guitars, and then they started asking me to build guitars. And I kind of had this business dropped in my lap of being a guitar builder, and I didn't know how to build guitars, so I had to learn it backwards.
Right.
But it just evolved from that. It was a really long list of undocumented OSHA violations that got me here. But here we are now. We build 200 or 300 of them a year, sell them all over the world. Let's go straight to the shop. This is where the magic happens.
What is this contraption right here?
So this is called a CNC router. It stands for Computer Numerical Control. So basically it's a big cutter that works with numbers to know where to cut, and it will help us to consistently produce accurate parts over and over and over. We use this for roughing in a lot of the parts of our bodies and necks to make the final finishing part of it a lot easier and more consistent for the customer.
So pretty much everyone is going to come out the same based on the...
Right, yeah. This is the most cost-effective and efficient employee we have. It does exactly what we tell it to do.
Yeah.
It does it every time, and it doesn't take a break unless I tell it to.
Yeah,
So
wish I had some of those.
right, we all need more of those guys.
All right, you took us through the cutting process. Where are we right now and what's next?
Okay, so now we're in the finishing department, or the spray booth. We've got the body off the machine. It's gone through all of our sanding and hand sculpting processes after the CNC machine. Now it's laying in here, and we're gonna get some sealer coats and some color coats on this thing and start getting a pretty finish on it.
Start making it come to life.
Right.
So what I've been noticing is your guitars have that signature vintage look. Question one, how do you get them to look that way? And two, a lot of bass guitars.
Right. Well, you know, bass players have more money than guitar players. They don't have the same expenses guitar players have.
Okay.
You know, a car, a girlfriend, their own
the
rent.
expensive stuff.
Bass players, they all get left in the back of the stage, outside the spotlight. And I'm like, man, I want to take care of you guys. And when I started that, they started telling each other, and they brought each other in.
Created a niche in the industry that was really needed.
In 20 years, I've spent less than $200 in advertising.
Wow.
Because
word of mouth.
The word of mouth,
and the
take care of these guys,
and
they take care of each other. So.
And the quality of the product, we do it all the time. Word of mouth and quality of the product.
Right, so this one here, we're actually getting ready to ship out here next week. We're gonna do some, but in this relicking process, there's
so you get all of the marks, everything that we see.
Yeah, we've done all the body aging, but then when you step back and you look at it, it's like, man, this neck looks too new. It wouldn't have gotten this beat up and not had something going on here. So that's what we're gonna do, is start into this process.
Attention to detail.
Yep.
Attention to detail.
Just that little bit that I just did, I don't know if you can get a good shot of it, but it makes that neck look like it's been played into, you know, it's not brand new and shiny, but it looks like it's been played in that way. You don't want it to look fake. The idea is to make it look realistic.
Well, I got the tour, I saw how everything was made. Can I get a chance to play?
Of course.
Can I take it for a spin?
For sure.
Appreciate it. Car keys. Got my ringer. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. There's no way I could be in the Music City and not learn about how the music is made.
They call it Guitar Town for a reason.
Absolutely. You know that ain't me playing guitar. That's my man Tim with the skills on the guitar. And that's it for this week. Next week, me and I will get into some movies, maybe some TV, tell y'all the difference between old Nashville and new Nashville, and whatever else we want. You feel me?
Bullseye View.